When there's no hope, loving for you who saw me before I knew who I'd be. What I have around me means nothing to me if I can't share it with you. Walking through all the dust, memories and frame, a past we simply let fade. But I don't close the door, waiting the chance for one will be back again. You make me feel so crazy, still in love with you. You make me feel amazing when I'm next to you. You make me feel so crazy, my heart breaks for you. Can't help but knowing that I'm still in love with you. You make me feel so
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the monsoon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a lone, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on the full moon. And we stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding. Play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and mess me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drive me around in your red Ford. Shivers down my spinal cord. Oh, 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 oh. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's
Welcome in, everybody, to the Godalions team stream. We're here with some Rocket League Norway Super Series coverage for the spring 2025 season. I'm here in the proverbial booth, as our faces won't be shown, with HOJ. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, mate. How are you? It's been an interesting a little bit of off season of casting for me, but glad to be back in less so of a casting, more of a watch party form we've got going on here today. And we're going to get to see the Senja Godalions taking on Core 3 Esports in this first match.
Yeah, it will be a good one to start things off. It's a double round robin play between 8 teams here, so we'll cover 14 weeks of games before the playoff section of the format, and it'll be the Senja X Godalions roster hoping to get things underway. The Sapphic, Quan, and Gyre that we all know and love starting off things here, and it's not just us that's backing them this time around, HOJ. It's the chat as well. RO Norway the predictions coming through, 98% in favor of Senja X Godalions, and only 2% for their opposition this time around in core.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite clear who the chat favorite is in this matchup, but we'll have to see if that transcends over into the gameplay, because if you know Rocket League, you know we often do get a little bit of surprises, and we might have one at the start of this game, but that's going to be picked up and cleared away. So, you know, nothing really to show for either side in the first minute and a half yet, just a little bit of back and forth, everyone trying to, you know, get a grip of the ball and, you know, really try and put their best foot forward here in the very first opening match of the season.
Yeah, I mean, starting off on the right foot, definitely important. You get that momentum, put that target on your back with other teams being like, oh yeah, this is a roster that we need to be scared of, we need to prep for, and we know these boys can do it. Good 50 there by Safix, and both these teams just looking to get themselves on the board first. I mean, we're through nearly half the game at this point, and nobody's found first blood. And usually game one, especially in the best of 7, is a massive feeling out period between both these rosters where they're trying to see how the other team's playing, what they're bringing to the table, but I know you don't want to hesitate with getting the floodgates open and getting those goals to fall in, because the longer you go without it means the longer you have to spend your own half warding off goals yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams approach this game, approach the opening match, and you know how the series develops. As it's, you know, that best of 7. It's not best of 5 like we often see in Rocket League. It is that best of 7 all the way through our sort of group stages here. So it's going to be interesting to see which teams are going to be able to, you know, really peak with that longevity if they go towards those 6 and 7 game series, if they're going to be able to keep up their momentum. Right now, it does look like it's the pressure is sort of coming out a little bit here from the Godalions team, and they have managed to pick up that first goal off of the back of it. But, you know, it took them a while, and I'm glad to see them get going here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe it's a slow start, but it's a good one nonetheless. We're not falling in goals from every which direction on the pitch, but they'll count all the same. 1-0, and it's going to be Godalions on the board first. And, you know, there's enough time on the clock that Core could mount some sort of comeback, but it's also, oh, we have a rule 1 here, actually, between Quan and Jolly, so 2v2 action in a 3v3 format. You love to see it, and respect to the players for showing some love there. It is one of my favorite rules in Rocket League, as long as you can have some fun. Staying deadlocked like hood to hood like that, or grill to grill, is a bit annoying, but if you can just appreciate to let loose and start like spinning and doing circles and just goofing off with each other, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's we always love a bit of fun here in Rocket League, especially you know, in a map like the Aquadome. It's you know, you have fun with some water, and well, it's quite clear that so far throughout this series and throughout this game number 1, the floor is a little bit slippy here for Core 3 Esports, because well, they're sort of sliding out of control a little bit, and Senja Godalions are able to pick up a second one. So just under a minute left, and it looks like Senja Godalions are in a good spot to take this first game.
Yeah, it's that second goal falling in. A demo from Safix to another one, just removing any sort of fear of a goal falling in on the side of Core. If the offense is off the pitch, they cannot get that ball into the back of the net. And a 2-0 should do it for the rest of this game. It's going to be Core not even being able to break out of their half. And so, a good opener here from Godalions, not just in the series, but for the season. It's a long one. So starting it off with good tidings, I think, is a very positive note.
Yeah, no, definitely, absolutely, and it's nice to see them start out that way. And, you know, just have another one, why don't you? Make it 3, make it that third goal, and really put the pressure on Core Esports to try and come back in game number 2, because that's one hell of an opening. That's one hell of a statement to start off with, Quan. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with what we've seen in this first game from them.
Yeah, you love to see it. I covered this team for some of their opens for the RLCS, and it's a team that, you know, on a run on a good day can definitely make it into top 32 and even beyond that. And so they're coming over here and showing their stuff in this RL Norway competition, the Super Series, as you would have it in 3-0 to start. Safek's toeing the line, 2 goals there, 5 shots, and 60 touches. Possession massively in favor of the side of Godalions. And look at that. Look at this production quality. We got cameras going on and everything. Okay, RL Norway, I see you.
Oh, it's looking pretty good here. We've already got more cameras than the actual RLCS broadcast, so it's
True.
lovely to see here the players playing ball. I guess you can say with production on this occasion, and it's it's often nice to get a look at maybe how teams react to certain situations when they're doing well, if they're celebrating, if they're not doing so well, how are they reacting to it? Are they having a little bit of a team talk, or are they maybe just taking that time to have a bit of a mental reset? And on this occasion, it does seem like Core 3 Esports, well, the player that we did see on the screen, just taking a bit more of a mental reset, time to decompress, and get back into this game. It is only the first game, so there's not really a lot to be worried about as your Core 3 just yet, but that can change very, very quickly as we start to continue the series and get towards our second and third games. If this sort of pressure that we've seen continues to haunt the gameplay of Core 3 Esports, then things could get very, very scary here for them.
Yeah, Core 3, other plans in mind though, and I mean, it's only 2 cams that we're seeing here, but like, look at the bottom right as well. They have player positions. We had some drop-ins production-wise. This is whoever's running production. Shout out to you. I need your name because I might have.
You know what? I think this is all our production. I think I don't think
Yeah.
this isn't on the main broadcast. This is all Rohan right here.
Yeah. Rohan moving the 6 of 2 different streams at the same time. He's just putting an overlay on top of RL Norway's overlay. No, that's honestly flowers given. I'm handing RL Norway a bouquet. It's a very quality product that I'm seeing here right now, and there's some features here that aren't even on the main RLCS broadcast. So
I know it's quite shocking, isn't it?
yeah,
like,
there's
some of the things
lots
we're
of
seeing.
care put into the product, obviously.
Yeah. And it is nice to give the flowers, give some appreciation to that production team in the back, because it's not something that we see a lot of the time, especially just in esports in general. A lot of production and people behind the scenes in esports events do go a little bit unappreciated. So it's nice to give them the flowers when they deserve it. And almost a pretty nice goal there coming through from Core, but that's going to be taken away for the time being. And while they do find themselves 1-0 down, Senja Godalions are trying to turn the tides and trying to, get this possession running in their favour and try and work that into a potential tied game here.
Yep, they've been on the back foot. Senja Godalions are, but not one they can't overcome. We saw them put up 3-0, and so technically they're still at a positive differential here in this game number 2. But the defense from Core has been much better. You see these demos coming out in the midfield, and as I say that, look, it's a caster curse, but it's in our favor. So I'll just continue to praise Core, I think, Hodge, and we might win this game 7-1 and take a trip to Rio.
Why not? Honestly, I'd love to see it. The equalizer coming through there, and well, we get to see a bit of a bounce back coming through from Senja. So it's interesting to see how this game's sort of flowed so far, especially after that opening one, and it doesn't seem to be quite as much of a runaway that we saw in game 1. It seems like Core 3 sort of worked things out a little bit better than they had in that first opening game. So a little bit more competition and another shot coming through, but that's going to be denied once more. So about halfway through this game number 2, and we're seeing things all tied up, but that could change very, very quickly for either side.
Yeah, I did mention how game 1 tends to be a trial period, especially in a series as long as a best of 7, where there is a lot of allowed room for error because the other team needs 4 games before they can win as opposed to the normal 3. And so maybe game 1 was just adaptation warming up on the side of Core, and now that they're here and doing well, it is going to be a more even series tied up as we get deeper into things. And they're looking pretty good. We've been at this 1-1 scoreline since Godalions got that freebie in the midfield. And both these teams, it's just a fight for possession ever since then. They've been trading blows, looking to get this ball out of their half and into the opposition's, although Senya Godalions doing a very good job of maintaining this pressure around the midfield line right now.
No, definitely, and it's nice to see that after the early goal that was scored, they've been able to really get this defense at a grasp and take advantage of it, put it in their own hands. Safix down from the ceiling. It's a lovely pass that comes in field. Lusik's not quite able to get a hand on it, and that just opens the gates for Safix there. But we've seen that start come through. The early goal from Core Esports, that's been answered by Senja Godalions, and now they're starting to sort of heat up a little bit. So you have to think here, if we've seen an advantage come through for Core Esports and an instant response from Senja on a couple of occasions now, I think that Core Esports sort of have to start winning games soon. Arguably this game they have to win, or things, for me at least, are starting to look a little bit dangerous for them in terms of the actual score of the overall series.
Yeah, I agree. It is a bit dire. This one has been played closer, and I'm not going to count them out yet. There's still time, although Dryer other plans in mind, trying to go for a third there. But yeah, if they do fall down here, especially in the manner that we've seen them drop these games, I don't think it bodes well for what I'd imagine they have in store for the rest of the series. It'd take a pretty large adaptation, and yes, a 2-0 lead in a best-of-7, you theoretically have 2 more games of room, but it makes the pressure all the more stringent to overcome, right, Hodge? Because you're working on, if you drop even one more game, it's multiple consecutive series points given to your opposition, and not a situation that I imagine Core want to deal with, but it will be one that they'll find themselves in with this third goal going in for Senya Godalions. It's going to be a mountain to climb on the side of Core on the way back into the series.
And that mountain's getting taller and taller as this series goes on, it seems. Other than that first goal, there's not really been any sort of life from Core 3 Esports. They haven't really had any, majorly threatening shots onto Senja Godalions. So, for the time being, Senja Godalions are just getting the opportunities to run away with it, and Core Esports are really not challenging them at all, really not answering back, and I think that's, quite noticeably reflected on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, no, it's the lack of, really, they've been swarmed with pressure through both these 2 games, and the defense hasn't necessarily held up as much as it can. Ludix, look at those shoes in the background, man. I see you. Got a nice little collection going. Good. Those are some nice Jordans there. Okay, yeah. It's it's not just all casual. There's a pair of loafers there too.
Yeah, he's got it all there. We've also got we've got the FaZe logo, so he is an esports fan, and it is nice getting a picture, a view of the players as well, because you get sort of a look into their interest just based on how their room is sort of set up as well. So it almost feels like, even though you haven't spoken to them, it almost feels like you already know them. But we are gonna be jumping into game number 3, and we're gonna get to see if this is gonna be same story continuing, or if we're going to maybe see something come back here from Core 3.
Yeah, we had mentioned wrapping up that last game, that the state that these teams found themselves in, right? Especially Core. You're down 2 games in the series, and you've been rather worse for wear. You haven't been able to shore up defensively. And even if you could, the offense just isn't there, as we see another shot opportunity that's going to go off the crossbar for Senya here. There's a lot of adaptations to make, And maybe it doesn't happen now, right? I understand it's week 1. You don't want to drop this game. But looking at this season, this spring 2025 play, you can't look at it in a very, short-term lens, right, Hodge? Like, there's so many weeks of Rocket League coming up for round robin between these 8 teams, let alone the playoff series that we'll see between them. So, just getting some positive takeaways from here, even if you don't win the series, is important. But if they do wish to win the series, they need a couple changes. That's a good start with the shot there from Jolly, but the defense too good for Sapphics.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. It's important to look at it from a sort of long-term perspective rather than, looking at it, with quite a short-term perspective. It is sort of for a marathon, not a sprint, like you say. We do see another goal come in here from Senja Godalions, and it really does just seem like this is going to continue to be the same story, continue to be a thorn in Core 3's side. And while I'm interested to see if we get that response from them, I think what you highlighted there about the longevity of this season is especially prevalent right now for Core 3 esports. We do have 14 weeks, double round robin, like we've already said, and yes, it's longevity, but at the same time, there has to be a point in the season, where you do get things together, because it is only the top 4 teams out of the 8 teams playing that will make it to those playoffs, and we do see a response coming through from Core 3. So, it is showing us here that they still have some life, but that was sort of quite a scrappy play right until the very end. It almost seems like they had to fight to the bitter end to try and get that goal, but they got the goal nonetheless, and they're still up for grabs here to try and get this third game locked away.
I am in the middle of a very deep laugh right now because Rohan in the RL Norway chat just said, "We got Monkey Moon at home, colon." And then I'm just watching the gameplay right now that coincides with that. This man's got jokes. I love you, Rohan. He is the one running production for us today and deserves a shout out. Very talented producer, somebody who's very good at what they do.
And
And
awake at 1 a.m. right now as well.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a commitment to be here. So shout out Rohan. Hey, I I see you. The heart and the smile won't come across to anybody else here over at the Godalions team stream, but we are watching the RL Norway broadcast as well. If you want to open up a second tab, but stay here, stay focused on us. It's I do want to return to the game and Core, and what you said was a very scrappy goal from them. And you know what? They all count the same. Maybe a second here as Lex was gonna try that short post onto Gyre, but couldn't get it to fall through. And it's it's at least an even score line. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the takeaway you can have right now. And
Definitely. Yeah.
with that being said, Core has looked better, right? Like, this ball has been in the Godalions half for much more of this game than maybe we saw in both games 1 and 2 combined. So already some good changes coming through. Nothing that we can't overcome over here at Senya Godalions, but it is good to see at least a closer game played from a non-biased perspective.
Yeah, definitely. And like you say, it's an even scoreline either way. To be honest, I thought, yes, it's an even scoreline. Yes, a goal's a goal. But the goal that they scored didn't make me convinced that, they were going to be able to turn things around here. So
Yep.
that's their job, to try and convince me here that they're able to do that. And so far, since that goal, they absolutely have. Like you said, they've got that pressure in this Central Godalian side of the field and are continuing to, keep up that pressure. It's not just sort of a one-time thing and then it gets cleared and then, you're back to square one. It's just constant pressure that seems to be being applied here to the Central Godalians side of the field. And, I'm noticing that this team of Core 3, they're starting to switch up their play style a little bit, just diving in sort of and holding it at this midfield a little bit more. And that's something we saw very effectively coming from Senja Godalions in that last game. It's now starting to work here for Core 3 Esports, and I'd be interested to see if that gets switched over and converted into a game win here, because well, right now it's tied, and it looks like we might be going to overtime. So, well, I'll have to wait and see. But it's looking very positive for Core 3 right now.
Yeah, and I understand we're on the Godalions team stream, but we're giving the praise here because this game feels like it's make or break, right? If they win, there's room for them to come back in this series, in this best of 7. If they lose, they're looking at a reverse sweep, and that will do it. That'll be Ludix, the man with the shoes behind him on display, cashing in, dropping a big smile, and taking a sip of what I believe is, no, that is not Diet Coke. That is a much taller can. I have no idea what that is. Core 2-1 in game number 3, and we have a series on our hands here, Hoj.
Yeah. I mean, technically, it's not a team stream because that's not allowed. So this is a watch
Okay.
party.
I
We are
apologize.
unbiased casters. So let's go, Corey Sports with a victory here in Game 3. They're able to start bringing that comeback. And we're going to have to see if they're able to now go into Game 4 and tie things up, because I don't know about you, but that was a very, very, convincing W that we just saw from them in that game. It was a lovely, lovely showing, and I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table in the next match.
Thank you for the clarification there. I'll go ahead and check myself. And yeah, shout out Core. Some good changes, forced an OT, found the goal very early before that one got long-winded, and they looked much better. This looked like an even game. It looked like a situation where Core was able to play Senya Godalions where they're at, right? Meet them at their level of speed, match their pace of play, dictate where that game was going, and sit in the driver's seat because they had the ball in Senya Godalions' half for more of that game than they had otherwise. So props to them. Yeah, they'll get themselves a game in this series, and in a best of 7, this is now anybody's series because there is still at least 2 more games needed for either side to win, and Core's the one with a bit of momentum behind their sails right now.
You know what? I do wish we had face cams on today, because the reaction from me when I realised that I've been pronouncing Senya's name wrong for the entire broadcast so far was absolutely priceless. Shout out to production, the production channel, for giving me the heads up on that one. But we do see the goal coming through from Safix, and that's an opening here for Senya Godalions to start out this game. And, that's sort of for me, that's a bit of a statement in itself. Core 3 Esports, they've got that win. A lot of people might be thinking, oh, we'll ride that momentum. We'll keep things going here. But no, we are going to see a response from Senya Godalions, and they are going to be able to, sort of establish who is the team to beat here in this situation.
Yeah, it's I wasn't gonna call you out, Hodge. I was just hoping that you saw the Discord messages in
Oh, it's a watch
time.
party. I'll call myself out. Don't worry. It's a mix of professional and me being an idiot. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's we can banter a bit. Maybe I should have then. It's not Senja, you big dolt. It's gonna be Senya. There's it's a Nordic tournament. Come on, put some respect on their J's.
My
Senya,
apologies, anyone watching.
I'm finding a second here, and I'm gonna tack on to your point. You had mentioned that, momentum definitely in Core's side with that game win, but Godalions coming out a statement goal and then 2 to get things back in their favor, get the ball rolling. They're looking very good. And I say this is the second time now. I need to remember it's nonstop praising for Core. Yes, it's a watch party. I'll be as unbiased as I wish, but check
You'll,
the name of the Twitch channel here, just so
you'll be as
where
unbiased as
my
possible without being fired.
yes, exactly. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm gonna throw in a little bit of spice over to the side of Godalions, and they will concede here. And Core, showing perseverance, showing heart. Going down 2 after you get a game win could have been a little bit demoralizing, but still plenty of time left on the clock, and they recognize that, and they're working on whittling down that lead.
No, yeah, absolutely. And we're starting to see sort of Core 3 working that back line of defense. Some of them cutting rotation, the passing plays coming through. And we're going to have to see if it's turned around there by Senya Godalions. We did see a little bit of a breakaway, but no one was quite able to get their hands on that and it's really turned it into a goal. Jay might be able to here, but that's going to be taken away for the time being by this side. I've just forgotten the team name. Let me open Wikipedia again. 1 second. Oh, of course, 3 Esports. And now they turn things around. Now they get that second goal equalizer. This is a watch party. This is as unprofessional as it gets. And well, not quite, but you get the point. And this is a tied game in game number 4, where either one of these teams could walk away with it. And you said this earlier, Quanzek. We do in fact seem to have a series.
Yeah, and 2 unanswered being swung back in the favor of core esports is definitely a way to garner momentum and a way to plant your flag on the series. Say we're not gone. You guys are trying to pull things back over to your side with those 2 goals rather quickly in this game number 4. But core playing back, finding a couple of their own, and all of a sudden, it's 2 apiece. They will concede 1 here, but they've already shown they can get 2 back in about a minute and a half, so there's plenty of time for them to get on the board once more, and I'm excited to see where the rest of the series takes us, because those first 2 games were like, okay, this might be a runaway train, and Core has quickly shaped up and head into Game 4 and Game 5 shortly soon after this. I think there could be some room for some upsets and changing of the plot.
Yeah. Now I have a bit of an idea here to maybe spice things up in this series, and Rohan, if you could do your job and pass this on to the admins, if you would please. How about we say whoever loses this game has to sub me in for one of their players? Now that's a great idea. What do you think?
What's your rank if you were to take the pitch?
Chump. Yeah. Okay,
And maybe
Chump
this
one.
is an unfair question to ask.
Chump one. I mean, surely I'd score a goal, right? Maybe.
I don't know. I might take the under on that. If you placed a champ 1 into an SSL lobby, are you scoring? Maybe if your teammates can prop you up enough. And I'm not putting any disrespect onto you entirely here, HOJ, but it's just a different level. Like my peak was high GC2, and even then I could barely hang with SSLs when I, was cursing Psionics matchmaking when I did run into them at like the 2 in the morning queues. So
Well, I'm going to hit you with a bit of a pro-caster transition right here, because while I might be not scoring goals, it's certain that core 3 is, as they've able to find this equalizer, and now we see the 4th come through from Senya Godalions. I waited a long time for that transition. I had to say it. I
it's
had
been
that,
sitting
had
in
that
the
cooking in my
hopper for
head
a
for a bit.
minute here.
I was brewing there, but we do see that Senya Godalions, come back, and it seems like Senya Godalions' gameplay right now is a benchmark that just keeps being moved forward a little bit, because we see every single time a goal comes through from Senya Godalions, it's answered back, and then another one comes through, then it's answered back, and then another one comes through from Senya Godalions, and it really just does seem that when Core 3 Esports get a goal, they're not able to follow it up with anything, and it always just gets answered by Senya Godalions. So that's going to have to be something that changes if they want to start walking away with this series in a bit more of an anything. I was going to say a bit more of a dominant fashion, but they're not walking away with it at all to start with. So we just need to, it doesn't need to be dominant. It just needs to be anything.
Yeah, I mean that's they all count. They don't ask how, they ask how many, and it's
No,
gonna
no
have
one's
to
standing
be
there like doing a judging panel for each of the goals.
yeah,
It
yeah.
counts if you
There's no
score 10.
there's no scorecards being popped up by judges along the outside of the
It's a
arena
good
for
idea
how
though.
good your goal was. It's that might be,
Write it down.
get some graphics work done for like a future freestyle competition, because I know that was the format for those, but just place the judges outside of the map and ready to hold up the cards as that happens. Send you Godalions. Hold on, don't concede a 0-second goal, and we're able to find that 4th one up ahead. And shout out Jair, man, very good looking chap, and He's the only one that's gonna be shown on stream with every win that is had, and Ludwig's on the other side because hey, nobody else wants to have their cameras on. Come on, guys. It's good
Come on,
fun.
guys.
We want to see you. There's literally a free app that I use on my phone for like the professional cast that I do, and I'm on camera way more than you would be in the middle of these games. So, there's no excuses. And if you want to give the oh yeah, it lags my setup, you're lying to yourself and everybody else.
Exactly. I mean, you had your phone face cam on a Luminosity team stream. So if you can do that, then
Exactly.
surely they can put their face cam on for a Rocket League tournament, that they're playing in. It's not going to do any damage to your PC because it's on your phone. So there's the workaround. There's the loophole. We found it. The next thing that I wanted to say is probably not. I'm probably not allowed to say. So we'll just be quiet on that front. But we are going to be heading into game number 5. I think, yeah, game number 5. And it is a 3-1 scoreline. So as we head down to Estadio Vida, it's going to be really all up in the air to see if pretty much if Core 3 Esports can ride any sort of momentum that they had in the earlier game, and maybe prove to us that they still actually have what it takes to win this series, or if this is just going to be all said and done and Senya Godalions are going to be walking away with a 4-1.
I'm glad you're in the booth here with me, Hodge, because I stopped like actively playing this game in 2022. I hit a rank that I was very happy with in high GC2, but I felt like I plateaued. And the only way that I saw getting past that was dumping in hours into my mechanics that I wasn't prepared to do. And so I just quit the game entirely. I was like, I'm happy here. I don't want to put in the time to the higher rank. I'll just stop playing. We're cool.
And so the game you decided to play was Valorant. Jesus.
No, worse. I went to League of Legends.
Oh
It-
God.
yeah.
All right.
I replaced Rocket League with League of Legends.
To be fair,
I need to have an AMA.
To be fair,
I need to
as
have.
someone who's played both of those, all jokes aside, I actually really respect you for both of those. So I would get on board with that.
Okay, I'm glad you're in my corner. I need to have an AMA though, because I went from one of the most like grind intensive, can be toxic games to the most grind intensive toxic game when I was trying to replace what my mainstay competitive game was. Not a great switch, but regardless, I'm happy you're in the booth with me because these new arenas, these new maps, I don't know the name of at all. So whatever you said coming into this one that had some sort of Latin flair to it, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, so this one's Estadio Vida. I'll give you the grand tour as we rotate around, but we might not be rotating anywhere
lovely.
if Senya are able to win this game. But we've got a while. We've got 14 weeks of this, right? So at
True.
some point over the time, we'll get to go through every one of them and hopefully get a game 7 at some point. But for the time being, it is going to be a Core 3 2-0 lead. So you never know. We might be seeing a game 6, and we might get one more map in us. But I'm glad to be in the booth with you here as well, Quan, because like you said, you play Valorant, you play League of Legends, Rocket League as well in the past. I mean, I think we cover all the esports here if we sort of go between us. I'm an Apex Legends player. I'm a Rainbow Six
I
Siege
have
player.
Apex too, yeah.
Oh, that's good. We love to see it. I'm a Rainbow Six Siege player as of recently as well.
That one I don't have.
I mean, I managed to lose a 3v0.
There we go. That's
Yeah.
impressive. You just not defuse in time? What happened?
No, so what happened is my teammate went to defuse, and then my friend went to defuse. The random teammate then team killed him, to defuse it himself. So then I team killed him because he team killed my friend, and then because of that, um, I team killed him. He didn't like fully die. He was like on the ground and he was like knocked. So I went for the finish, but it enabled like friendly fire for your own team. So I ended up like essentially I'm trying to word this without making it bad. I ended up essentially I can't say that either. I ended up essentially losing the round because I shot my teammate who was on the floor, and it went. The shot went backwards and turned around. Let's put it that way.
That got it.
Does
Yeah,
that make
that's
sense?
I'm tracking. I bought Rainbow Six back in, I don't know, when the game like first released. Not with the new boom it's had by way of Jinxie, but like back in 2017, maybe?
Yeah.
About the same time, or no, 2016, because I picked up Rocket League and Rainbow Six at the exact same time because they were both on sale. I played them both to try them out. I enjoyed Rocket League. I played Rainbow Six, and I liked the concept of it. I instantly though, like, yeah, I'm a ranked grinder. I like to hustle. I like to see my rank go up. I want to play a game that
Yeah.
feels like I'm quote unquote progressing
Yes.
something. And so I immediately jumped into ranked in Rainbow Six. Obviously didn't do well, and my entire first game on just got team killed over and over and over and over again right off spawn because they
That's
didn't want
accurate.
me playing.
It's
And
either that or it's cheater.
instantly uninstalled the game. So never went back, and I haven't bothered casting it as a result. But I'm glad to see there's at least
Neither.
4 games that we have in parallel. The only 5th game that I feel confident casting is a game called Roller Champions. It's more than dead at this
Oh,
point, but
never heard of that.
you Ubisoft put it on. I really like the concept. It just never really took off, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, one thing that has taken off right now in this game number 5 is Core 3. They're able to, at this point, lock away the game. They're going to try and secure it when they clear this out, but 10 seconds remaining, 3-1. This should pretty much do it. How do you like these transitions today?
You've been spot on, and it's you. It
Listen,
takes me.
we've dropped viewers in the past 2 minutes. I thought we better go back. I thought we better go back to being professional for a second, or we might be losing my jobs.
Yeah, we gotta stop talking about our own personal video game experience and pleasures. It's been a core back on the board here with a game victory and stopping Senya Godalions from winning in only 5, and there's still room here for them to grow and develop. And Ludix, with the jersey on, I didn't realize that before, and I actually don't know if that's a core jersey. I'm assuming not, now that I look at it, because it has an Adidas symbol there. So it's probably just a red shirt that they put on. But hey, I appreciate the team spirit regardless. You're sporting your team's colors, even if it is not an official jersey. Jair can't say the same. So take that.
He's just vibing. He's just vibing. You know, who needs a jersey? I mean, I feel like I'm sort of like famous, especially in like EU Rocket League grassroots communities like the RSC, for rocking up to casts wearing a random esports team jersey, and then people in the chat can like proceed to call me a biased caster for the entire like stream, despite the fact that the team I have the jersey on isn't playing. So but hey, welcome to game number 6. This is Neo Tokyo. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. This is quite an old
I
one.
do
So,
know this one. Yeah. This is an
have
OG.
you seen all the different variants of Neo Tokyo that we've got?
Don't get me started on the comic version of Neo Tokyo, man. Isn't there a grass one now too? Or am
Not that
I
I'm familiar with, but
okay? Maybe not then.
that's an idea. I mean, if we need one of the if we need another 17th variation of Neo Tokyo, then I'd happily get a grass version of Neo Tokyo. It would look a bit odd, but
I mean, maybe you go for like a little bit of like a Central Park in New York vibe,
ooh,
where
or
it's
like
just like the isolated grass patch that's dedicated to Rocket League in the middle of Neo Tokyo.
or make it like plainly obviously artificial grass, because I feel like that would sort of fit the
Yeah,
theme here of like
true. Actually, that's
I
not a
feel
bad
like
idea.
it would fit the theme, I think, here of Neo Tokyo. Um, but right now we're seeing some very early action coming through in this game. We're seeing 2 goals coming through in the first minute, one on either side, and I think that's really just pretty much announcing how up in the air this is for both of these teams. We could well be going to Champions Field, and I say champion. It might not even be champion. It's probably going to be Champions Field, isn't it? The
It'll
map
probably be
rotation's
Champions
been
Field.
a little bit all over the place, and I'm assuming that's one that you definitely know, being a Rocket League caster here.
Yeah, I
So
mean, Champions
yeah,
Field, it's you are given so much liberty as a caster to hype it up and get things going, and both these teams just continuing to trade blows. I feel like ever since Core got into it in our game number 3 of this series, it's just been back and forth action literally the entire time. Rarely have we seen a multiple goal lead. I know Senya Godalions finished with the multiple goal lead last game, but I think that's the exception, not the rule. And it'll be Core looking to get back on track here. They are in the driving seat and forcing another good save from Quan. Make it 2 as this one comes all the way down the length of the pitch. Although they might concede on the back end. No, diving save there by Hayes. And look, they are holding on, and this is a must-win game, and I'll briefly rejoin our map discussion. It has been a different map rotation, but I do appreciate seeing the other maps, because
I do as well. Yeah.
after a certain time, I get really sick and tired of seeing Forbidden Temple game number 2.
I love Forbidden Temple. You've
I
attacked
love
me.
the
You've
map. It's
attacked me
just
there.
every series, dude.
I love Forbidden Temple game 2. It's so iconic at this point. I remember there was a point in RLCS last season where they got rid of game 2 Forbidden Temple, and everyone in chat kicked off. They were like, "Where's my Forbidden Temple?" I think they replaced it with DFH Stadium for game 2.
That's a bad change. But
Yeah,
like I just want to see there's so many maps and arenas that deserve more love. Like I understand a lot of them are just done versions. Like we never need to see the like Deadeye Canyon or
hang on, I've
the
got an idea. We need Neon Fields as game
oh
2.
lord. Or what's the Starbase Arc map that's just like in space that everybody complained about the colors for?
Yeah, we need Starbase Arc in RLCS. You heard it here first. But what we might be seeing next is Champions Field. We've already talked about it, and you also mentioned that to be a caster in Rocket League, you need to. It's sort of one of the things is how you bring us into a champions. It almost should be in the job description of a caster, like the job requirements. You need to be be good at talking. You need to have some good game knowledge, and you also need to be able to do a hype champions field announcement. And to be honest, I don't know about you, but I love like seeing everyone's attempts at it, because everyone has a unique approach. It's the people who try and copy Shogun. It's the people who do their own sort of thing, and then it's people who don't do it at all. And I think I love seeing everyone's sort of perspective at it. Personally, I try and copy Shogun because it makes me feel cool, even though I remind myself that I am casting a show match on my own stream to keep the peace.
Honestly, I mean, it's part of the caster interview. It sounds like it should be made at this point of like, give us your best Game 7 Champions Field intro.
Yeah,
Because you're right, everybody
who would do the
has their
interview?
own spin off, their own flair. Um,
Who would do the
I
interview?
I'm very ashamed here because I feel like I'm gonna say something that might be like heresy as a caster. You're
Right.
referencing Shogun's Game 7. I have not heard this man call a Game 7 in so long that I don't remember what his call is for Champions Field.
Right, well, you've got
Um,
some series of Rocket League to go back and watch, but for the time being, we do find out. We should probably talk about the game to some degree. So Core Esports, Senya Godalions, 3-3, 1 minute and 20 seconds left. This could go either way. We've seen it go back and forth a little bit, but 3-3, next goal could take it. But at this rate, it really could be another couple before we either could be crowning a winner of this series or going the distance. But yeah, I think you've got some series of Rocket League to go back and watch.
I'm literally
Lon-
on YouTube as we speak, trying to find
okay,
the right query to
okay,
find.
okay, okay. London Major, RLCS 2024 London Major, Falcons versus Gentlemates. It's a
Okay.
semi-final. Um, go back and watch that game 7. I was in the arena for that one. I was in the crowd. It was a
I
lovely
mean, I'd
atmosphere.
assume so. It must have been a memorable series. You were able to spout that instantly from memory. So
Yeah, I
let
mean
me.
that definitely that, and also the fact that I got to stand next to Pegasus in the queue there before it, and chat to him. We were both in the queue for the Appjack meet and greet. So that was fun. Pegasus made that series. It was Pegasus and his massive RLCS ego that he's developed over time here. But yeah, go back and watch that series, and also tune into this one because this might be going to overtime very soon. 4 seconds left, 3-3 on the scoreline. I say 4 seconds left now. I remind myself that we have a little bit of stream delay here, regardless. But hang on a second, 0 second goal comes through. Safix calls game. We will not be seeing Champions Field. We will not be seeing overtime. We will be seeing Safix, and he will be seeing the back of the net and the exit door for Core 3 Esports.
A 0 second goal at that is quite the nail in the coffin for Senya Godalions. And hey, it took some time. Core showed some fight, and I think this might turn into a fantastic series as this season progresses for spring 2025 play. But it will be Godalions coming away with the win, the opener of this very long season. Starting off on the right foot, and there's nothing else that you would want given what is laid out in front of you format-wise. 14 weeks of regular season play, and then you have the playoffs following that. It is a marathon.
Oh, it certainly is. I'm just having a look at the schedule for each of these weeks and just seeing if... I know there is a couple of weeks where there is going to be 2 matches, but for the majority, it is going to be one per week. So we've got a lot of weeks here still left to go, and we are going to see a 4-2 game there coming through. We've already shouted out the teams, we've already shouted out the players. Massive congrats, by the way, to Senya Godalions on taking that. But I want to shout out the casters here as well. We've got Barks, we've got Potter. Potter actually casted with him at the RLCS, not the RLCS, the RSC Landemonium in London. A great guy, honestly. And Barks, I'm still yet to cast with him, but seems like a nice caster. And I've been keeping the audio on my second stream here, and I like what I'm hearing from both of them. So yeah, it's been good to listen to. It's been good to watch from the players' perspective, and I'd be interested to know your thoughts before we close things off here for the day.
I mean, they look good, both teams here. I'm just excited to kick things off officially for Rocket League Norway and the Super Series that they're hosting this time around in spring 2025. It's gonna be a very long haul. We'll be your home for the every single one of the Godalions matches over here, myself and HOJ, and that series.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. That series between both rosters looked great.
Yes.
Core didn't come away with the win, but there were glimpses and lots of positives that they could have drawn from that match, and some really good games to VOD review as well. So I know both these teams will be back in the lab looking at how they can improve. Lots more to be played for, and I'm just excited, man. More Rocket League action, especially in a region that I don't have the most experience with. It means that I get to be educated and entertained all the way through.
Yeah, I would say this is what it's like casting with me, by the way. I will ask for your opinion and then try to talk over you after you make a point. So yeah, I just need to shut up, take a step back. But yes, we are. It's great to get things started here and get these games underway. Massive shout out to all the players on both of the teams here for their performance today. And, it ended up being quite a close affair. If Core 3 had picked things up a bit earlier in those first couple of games, we might have been seeing a very different result today. But that's the first game closed out. And like you say, this is going to be the home for all the Godalions matches. It's not a team stream, it's a watch party, but it's only a watch party for the specific times that Godalions will be playing. Just because why not? So yeah, that's going to be the case. And other than that, I think there's nothing left to do but close things out. So we'll see you all next week for, I believe it is DMG Esports versus Senya Godalions. So tune in then for that match. But until then, we'll see you very soon.